Hi students, good day. And today is Wednesday, the 11th of November. Happy Veterans Day to you. I'm doing this broadcast or this video on Wednesday evening, the 11th, probably like around 6:15 or so p.m. Um, so we're in session week 12 of fall 2020, and this will be chapter 11 tonight, which we're going to cover, and also this will be the Thursday session. So just a couple of things, just to update myself, is that I have tested positive for COVID. I feel very good. And, every business and organization handles things differently. And so when my wife, Cindy, was diagnosed as positive with COVID, and she was very, very sick, and she has recovered. She's in good shape. That was probably be 2 weeks from tomorrow. Thursday is when we took, that'd been October the 29th, and she was diagnosed with the start of her COVID on October 27th. So for me, it was supposed to be a 2-week quarantine, and I was planning to be in school this past Tuesday administrating the exam and just continuing on and starting to back work. But our organization at the lodge steps it up even higher. They say that quarantine needs to be done, but also to come back to work. If you've been exposed to someone who's had a positive COVID test, you need to prove to us that you are healthy and ready to go, and then you need to take an exam. You need to take a COVID exam. So I did. And lo and behold, I took the COVID exam, which would have been this past Friday, which would be November the election was 3rd, 5th, it would have been November the 6th. Then I got the results on Sunday. I did the CVS drive-through, and I tested positive. I have felt good all during this duration. I really have. So it happens. So don't know. So we're dealing with that, and I believe my organization is going to change things up, and that's probably the common denominator, is that things change daily. I could have come back to school and been there on Tuesday to administer the exam. Thank you, Mr. Hamilton, for doing what you did. But when I took the exam, I tested positive. School, Northwood, would not allow me to come back to campus. So I got to work all those different parameters out, but I do believe I'll be back relatively soon. So my goal is to do a video, and I'm also going to try experimenting tomorrow with doing a virtual, like a class at 9:30 on Thursday, the 12th. So, okay. So anyways, we are going to talk about chapter 11, and I don't know if anyone has any Northwood business they need to share with me, but I will continue to work with each and every one of you on your quizzes, continue your Oracle project. Hopefully that's going. And once again, the expectation is to have 15 modules complete by the end of the semester, or by the end of, when the end of the semester would be, the final is projected to be, I think it's Tuesday, December 6th or 7th, somewhere down there. It's the first full Tuesday in December. And then also we have to finish up a few quizzes, which we will do. And so anyways, so chapter 11, let's talk about chapter 11. So it's front office audit and daily operation. So what that is of the guest account and transactions. So I'm thinking of it's like the night audit function. Most hotels will have a night audit team, and the front office audit is the night audit team. And some of the things that Casavena talks in the first part of the chapter are just, it's good stuff. I probably have covered just one shift as a night auditor in my working career, and it basically is the postings. It's the account transactions, comparing the account transactions, the daily comparison to what's happened in the revenue center, and then assigning it to a particular guest, making sure it's happening. So just a side note on this, I think this is how Mr. Hamilton started his career in hospitality. Mr. Hamilton, who you've gotten to know, and he started his academic career at Northwood and Delta, I think, and then Northwood, then Central Michigan. He has his MBA from, but he had a BBA after his schooling at Northwood, and he was in, I think, car financing and in sales of maybe a different organization. Not sure how that all worked, but not happy. And then he made the jump to hospitality and started his career as a night auditor, and that was the start to his thing. So, I mean, once again, in business and in life, just to be flexible to the opportunities you may exist. And as we all try to find our true happiness, and true happiness in our work is what he did. So the functions of the front office is nothing more than to verify the accuracy and completion of the guest and non-guest accounts against the revenue centers. So once again, revenue centers, think about revenue centers. We talked about this earlier in the calendar year. Your profit centers. So it's front desk, maybe it's the restaurant, maybe it's the lounge or the beverage area, and maybe some retail areas, whatever maybe the hotel has to offer for revenue centers. But yeah, you want to compare those things versus what's going on. And the system update is nothing more than a review. So that's what we want to do in the night audit function, is we want to assess and once again analyze and make the assumptions that, who needs to be occurred this charge. And we wanted the function of the front office is nothing more than accuracy, completion of the guest and non-guest accounts versus the revenue center transactions. That's right. So it's completion, the completion of the guest accuracy. And the function of the front office is what he explains like on page 400 is to verify posted on entries to guest and non-guest accounts, balance all the front office accounts. That's right, balance them out. Debit, credit, we talked about that a little bit previously. Resolving the room status and the rate discrepancies. Just got to make sure that if someone does in your organization upgrade a guest from a standard room to maybe a higher grade of a suite, to appropriately charge that, and vice versa. Maybe they started out as originally a upgrade or a room or a suite of some sort, then maybe they come down to the standard rate. You need to reflect that and make sure that their entire stay, whether it's 2 nights, 3 nights, how many days they may be staying, is reflected that on their invoice. So, and reviewing the guest credit transactions against established limits. I never do that, but some guests love to do that. They like to have a credit limit, so they want to go to our lounge tonight and have a good time, and they want to have a credit so they can just say, charge it to my guest room. Some people enjoy doing that. If that's what they want to do, make them happy, so be it. You have to figure that out and figure out the systems to make it work. So yeah, establishing the credit limits and then generating operational and managerial reports. That's a big one. Function of the night audit. Now I take our example in Frankenmuth. I think both properties will work with their accounting division along with the night audit team to generate those operational reports, but they do conclude. And what are some of the operational reports they look at? Well, probably is occupancy. What is the occupancy for the day? And then they put together the reports. Well, at least what we do in our system is they will have operational systems such as occupancy report. So what's the occupancy for today, November 11th? Okay, and then I'll do a spreadsheet with Excel. The occupancy is this. What was it last November 11th of 2019? And then usually what we also do is always a month to date. So the first 11 dates, what was the occupancy percentage for 2019? Compare that versus 2020. That's how you sort of take a look at business. So that's one thing that most properties will do is the occupancy report. Another thing they'll probably take a look at, ADR, average daily rate. It's just like the average price per guest, like if you're in the restaurant. You want to, in the front desk areas, try to upgrade as much things as possible, sell additional sales so you can get more dollars coming in. So to help increase that average daily rate is just very, very important to the organization. So another operational report is the ADR. Once again, for the first 11 days, maybe for 11th versus 11th of 2019 versus 2020, and then also do a comparison in terms of accounting, in terms of how do we do for the first 11 days of 2019 ADR, and then also what do we do for the first 11 days of 2020 ADR, average daily rate statistics. That's very, very important. So yeah, those are probably things. Revenue, another thing. That might not be a statistic, but it is a statistic, but it's just a total accumulation of things. So those are things that organizations take a look at. It's very, very important. So anyways, so that's all part of the front office team. So um, continuing on. The function of the front office is, accuracy completion of the guest and non-guest transaction, and it's against the revenue center transaction. So you have to take a look at those revenue centers and making sure that they are balanced out. So the functions continuing on of the front office audit is to verify the posted entrees. Making sure those things are posted correctly, accurately, balancing all front office accounts. That's right. Debits equal credits. Resolve the room status and rate discrepancies. Big thing. Resolve the room status. That is a big thing that everyone in the front desk area, whether you're a front desk agent, if you get the call that this room is being cleaned, you have to change it from maybe being occupied to unchanged. And then once it's cleaned, to verify that it's ready to be sold. Very, very important. How can you sell something? And you do not want to disappoint the guest. I think I've talked about this many times in which we have not shared, but sold a guest room. And then the guest gets into the room 205 with the expectation of opening the door and having just a fantastic experience. Things are merchandised. The room looks, as you folks would say, wow. I would say nice, neat, and attractive. And it's still dirty. Then you have disappointment. Then you got to have a recovery. And then more likely you will do some type of upgrading and to make it better for them. So lost sales, and you don't want to have lost sales, but anyways, the resolving the room status and rate discrepancy, very, very important for the front office. Review of the guest credit transactions against the established limits, okay, and then generate those operational and management reports, which we've talked about. So, okay, some other things that I just want to talk about in this chapter is that Casavant talks about establishing an end of the day. Most hotels will do that, establish an end of the day. The front office auditor completes, balances, and reviews the transactions posted to the guest ledger accounts throughout the day. Each hotel must decide what time will be considered the end of the accounting or the hotel day. For us, we probably say 2 a.m. Now, why do we say 2 a.m.? Well, prior to the pandemic, we had pretty good business in our food and beverage area. So 2 a.m. What's usually 2 a.m.? Usually the weddings conclude at 1 o'clock. And then the thought process is that the food and beverage team would take care of the transactions. You're talking food and beverage. The menu, the meal should be done a long time before 2 o'clock. But a lot of times when the way we do business is that we will have the beverages, which the weddings usually may go up to 1 o'clock. We work with our entire guest as to what they want to do in terms of planning their event. So in the event that they're going to 1 o'clock, our leadership team in the bar area, what they'll have to do is they will have to evaluate and do a physical count as to all the consumption of liquor, beer, wine, etc., whatever their menu has been selected, and then to once again charge the account. And then what the night auditors will do is they'll take that paperwork and they will appropriately post it to these particular accounts. So that's why we say 2 o'clock. So that's our point, is the end of day. Then the account integrity. Let's talk about that. What does that mean? To me, it just means that things are done correctly, they're done cleanly. And when you take a look at maybe an invoice, whatever invoice you may have, whether it's an invoice for a hotel, whether it's an invoice for buying a car, account integrity to me, it means it's clean. It's whether it's on a phone, if it's on your phone downloaded, if it's on your computer, whatever, it has to be spelled out. And when I spell out account integrity, I also say it's got to be effective. It's got to be line by line items in which it says as to what you're being appropriately charged. So if I'm staying in room 203, Randy Hagenar, at Bavarian Lodge, lodging for tonight, November 11th, and the lodging for November the 12th, and then maybe the lodging for November 13th, should have the room on there, should have the appropriate price points, should have sales tax on there, etc., and then maybe any other additional items. To me, that is account integrity. It's just to ensure the accuracy, the completion, and the integrity of the front office accounting procedures. It's clean. It's a wow situation. It's nothing to be debated about. We talk about being easy to do business with, and this would be something that I think you need to be easy to do business with. It should be clean and legible when that invoice is presented to you, if that's what you request, or it should be presented on the phone if that's what you want, or however you want the bill to be presented to you. It's got to be account integrity. And then he also talks about front office automation. We're not at that point in Frankenmuth. Front office automation modules of a property management system referred to as the front office system can be interfaced with point-of-sale equipment, call accounting systems, in-room entertainment devices, and other revenue sources for timely, accurate, and automatic postings to electronic guest and non-guest folios. So it's automatically done. So if I ring up a transaction, however I'm doing it, a revenue transaction, a profit center transaction in the restaurant, and ring it up, and they can either charge it to their room and it just automatically goes there, it's connected, the property management system, or they can pay for it normally per credit card, debit card, cash, whatever. But the front office automation systems that he's talking about here is probably the Cadillac version. And like I say, we in Frankenmuth are not quite there. So, but those are things from chapter 11 that I just want you to be involved, and that's the front office audit. And it's really, if you can get in the hospitality business and if you can work a shift or so in the front office, I'd advise that. It's really good stuff. So, okay, just to wrap up this chapter, and with these videos is I will be making it very, very brief. It'll probably be no longer than 20 or 25 minutes. And nothing more than just to the 10 steps that he says. The following steps are common to the sequence of a front office audit. One is complete the outstanding postings. That's right, postings should be done on a timely basis because once again, you want to try to maximize, not that you have any lost revenue. Step 2 is reconcile room status discrepancies. Yeah, whether it's room status and also the price points. Number 3, verify room rates. That's right, verify the room rates as to what the guests should be appropriately charged. You don't want no surprises, and hopefully that's done during that arrival situation in which the guest is communicated that we have you, Mr. Hagenar, staying for 3 nights, price point of $159 per night. You're in the standard room rate. You're in room 206. We have you coming in November the 11th, leaving on the morning of November 14th. Whatever. All of that to be done in advance. Number 4, balancing all the departmental accounts. We talked about that. Number 5, verifying no-shows reservations. Okay, let's talk about that. So if you're sold out, do you always have everyone show up? No. So, that's probably another particular statistics that hotels take a look at. No-show reservations. And how do you handle that? Now, we, 99 times out of 100, will charge them because we've held that room. Unless we get some feedback from them. If they don't show up, we will charge the credit card that they have used to make the reservation with. Just the way it is. Now, we are flexible to an extent. If we have a big snowstorm that comes in January, February, December, and it wipes out the whole entire middle of the Michigan, we'll work with our guests, and we definitely will not charge them for it. If they were planning to stay for a weekend and we're projecting to have 8 to 10 inches of snow, and then also that the snow is going to come and they are coming from Grand Rapids, it's just not safe and practical for them to come. So number 5, the verifying the no-shows reservations is a big thing. Number 6, post the room rates and taxes. 7, prepare reports. They're important for all the operational departments. The reports that the property management system can generate along with the night audit team are just crucial to doing business. The reports help you manage and help you lead your business. Number 8, prepare cash receipts for deposit. Okay, yeah. How much money should you have on your hotel? Should you be doing daily deposits? We do. We don't want to have an excessive amount of cash on hand. Certainly we have a par balance that we want to have, which we do, and then the rest we put it into our deposits. Number 9, perform systems backup and routines. And number 10, after reports are done, somehow you have to distribute the reports. All of our reports are done on an Excel basis in which all the operational managers will see what their profit centers reports were for the day, whether it's restaurant or whether it's front desk, or whether it's gift shop, whatever the revenue is. So that's it. Those are the steps for the front office. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude chapter 11. Like I had said earlier, I'm going to hopefully I got to work and see as to what's happening at my employment, and then I got to talk to HR people at Northwood and seeing when I can come back. But I believe we'll be back, and the standards are being just changed a little bit. And we had higher standards in Frankenmuth, in which, okay, if you've been quarantined for a certain amount of time, you could go back to work, is what the CDC and the health department says. But we threw a test in there too, the COVID test, and that has set me back a step or so. But anyways, I'll keep you posted. If I can help with anyone, please reach out to me per email or give me a call on cell, and let's get through this thing together as we are almost through. As Connor would say, we're in week 12. 2 more weeks to go. Thank you, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.